So, in order to answer this question, we need to understand the codes and conventions of real short films. So, one of the main conventions of real short films is the amount of characters that the film has. Because short films are so short, they can't afford to have a lot of main characters because the audience won't be able to connect with the main characters or relate to them if there's 4 or 5 or even 6. And so the film doesn't have enough time for the audience to relate to each and every character if there's a lot. So that's why most short films have only 1 to 2 main characters, and it's usually just a protagonist and an antagonist.
So another coding convention of short films is the twist within the film. Unlike feature films, short films don't have enough time to be able to develop a very in-depth story within the film, and therefore a twist has to be added in the film to ensure that the audience is intrigued and keeps watching.
So the next convention of short films is the budget. So the budget is typically lower on short films because short films are usually made for short film enthusiasts or short film connoisseurs, so the budget isn't that big because their audience range isn't big either, so they don't really need that big of a budget because they're not reaching a wider range of people.
Another convention of short films is the fact that they're only between 5 to 30 minutes long, and this means that they can't really build an in-depth storyline.
The last convention of short films is the location, and this is similar to the characters. Because short films are short in length, they can't afford to have too many locations to confuse the audience, so they stick to usually 2 to 3 in order to reduce the costs as well.
So, to answer the question whether our short film has challenged, developed or used codes and conventions, we decided that we're going to take snippets from the film to show exactly where our film has done that, and we'll explain as we show the snippets where the film has either challenged, used or developed the codes and conventions. So Fred and Jess are the main characters in our film. Fred is the protagonist and Jess is the antagonist of the film, and then we also have Jose, who's the supporting character, just to help develop the storyline.
As we mentioned previously, every short film has a twist. And in our particular short film, called Inhibition, our twist develops throughout the film and it leaves the audience on a cliffhanger as to what actually happens. As you can see here, Jess says she's pregnant, and then in the next clip she's on the phone saying he fell for it. So we leave the audience in suspicion. Is she really pregnant? Is she not?
Shut up!
We also mentioned before that most short films are filmed on a very low budget, if any budget at all. Of course, we were lucky enough to be able to use the equipment that was at school to film our short film, so we didn't have to spend money on buying equipment. However, we didn't actually need to spend any money because our film is based in school, and the outfits that we were wearing were our school uniforms, and the location didn't have to be rented as we were also filming the film in school.
So we know length is a convention of short films, and as you can see, our short film is exactly 5 minutes and 30 seconds, and this is between 5 and 10 minutes is roughly the length of an average short film. So we stuck to this coding convention and kept our film at 5 minutes 30 seconds.
Due to short films being filmed on a rather low budget and using rather simplistic storylines, we decided to film our film in only 3 locations, one of them being where Jess is sitting on a bench texting Fred just letting him know that she's going to meet him. And the second location is where they actually meet, where Fred is revising with Jose, his friend. And then the final location is the location where Jess was waiting for Fred as she called him to ask him where he is, but he didn't pick up.